did you love the story of season 1 more or less than the story of season 2? Like, if you were going to stack rank those personally, like, how'd they fit for you? Again, connectedness to the people and the whole thing.
So I feel like I was definitely sort of more personally connected to season 1 for reasons, if you've listened to season 1, it's clear. So that felt more like in my heart a little more, just because I'd gotten to know those people in some cases pretty well, or it felt like I knew them. It was sort of more personal. As a story, I sort of feel more compelled by season 2, I have to say. And as I think it was sort of better journalism, probably, too. It was way more ambitious. I think people don't hear it that way, but for us, it was way more ambitious. It was a much bigger learning curve for all of us. I mean, I'm not a national security, I'm not a military reporter, So I was starting at zero. I mean, I'd have these conversations with soldiers and just be like, I'm sorry, a lieutenant is higher than a captain? You know what I mean? I was like one of those people, and they'd be like, whoa, all right, so let me just break it down for you, like brigade, but you know what I mean? So I was really coming in at zero, and it was exciting, and then to sort of try to make sense of that world, and I don't know, don't get me started on season 2, but I ended up really loving that story. I mean, that seems like a weird thing to say, like, I love this story about this guy who got kidnapped and then we traded, Taliban fight from God. But just the stakes of it were so high, and I think actually for all of us, not just for the people in the story, the stakes of it are so high. And just like to hope that you're maybe communicating a little bit of that to an audience that doesn't give a crap about the war in Afghanistan, just to be like, here's why maybe you could care for a second, and like, can we all think about this a little harder? That felt very important to me. Does that answer your question? Not really.
No, it does. Thank you. And I think back to, we're running short on time. It feels like this is something we could talk about all day.
Yeah.
And clearly you've invested a lot of time in your career into these amazing podcasts that have been so successful and influenced our lives as well. So thank you. Last question.
Sure.
I think it's the question on everybody's mind.
Uh-oh.
Did he do it?
Oh, no, you can do that.
No,
I'm not going to dignify that one.
You end the season by, being pretty clear. Like, if you were on the jury, here's the decision I would need to make.
Right.
But I think, a lot of us, I certainly have scoured online and seen what kind of new information has been released or revealed. But do you still have the same perspective? Or, with now a few years behind you, has anything changed? No, I mean, like, it's funny. It's like, I definitely didn't want him to be guilty. I don't want him. So like, I would love it if it went there, you know what I mean? And just because I like Adnan, I really like Adnan, and I don't want anyone to have done something so hard. It's like you don't want it to have happened. But like, has there been some piece of evidence I've learned from back in 2014 to now that's just like, aha, that's the piece I needed to fall either way? Nothing yet.
No. I mean, the biggest piece of evidence that came forward was about, the cell phone testimony. It's very technical, and I will not bore you with it. But what that sort of nailed down to me was like, oh, the prosecution's case was even weaker than we knew. So like, that really cemented for me, like, right, they didn't prove their case. I mean, I already didn't think they had, but that was more just like, aha, yeah, that was really bad. But no, I can't say. And this is one thing I've really learned, and especially like as I get older, I feel like more and more and more is like this kind of like, I know in my heart, or like I feel it in my gut, and I just know, I got the feeling.
Not gonna work for you.
It's not real. Like, no, I know nothing. My gut doesn't understand anything, heart, brain, like nothing. Like, yeah, I'm with Adnan now, like, give me the facts. Just give me the facts. The rest of it is bullshit.